Okay. This is like the bajillionth time I'm trying to make this video. I was contacted basically a year ago about reviewing this tablet. I said yes. I stupidly misread the instructions, thinking I had to do like a Daft Penis style review video. I tested the product, I made art, I wrote a script. Pretty comprehensive, if I do say so myself. I recorded the script, then 2020 to 2021 got hectic as hell, and I could never find the time to make the video. I hired an editor, I waited for them to finish the video, they never started, and they said they couldn't find the time either. To Minton and Veikk in general, I'm so unbelievably sorry about my poor communication transparency, but I have a new editor on deck for this. Say hi, please plug your stuff now. Fingers crossed that this is the run. Devil's advocate for a moment, they said not to post a review if something negative came up and they wait till they fixed it, so I waited. All opinions are my own, I'm not being paid to make an ad here. But first, let's get one thing straight. I use a Surface Book 2 nowadays for art. I am not the target demographic for this tablet. This is looking to compete to be a young artist's first drawing tablet, maybe even their first upgrade from those tiny-ass Osu tablet. Wait, they're $30? That's pretty filthy, not gonna lie. Hit me up, please. Point being, I'm trying to look at this from a beginner's perspective. As a young, poor, and prospective digital artist, where should your very little cash go to? And I mean very little. So without further ado, this is the Veikk A30 pen tablet. When I bought it, it cost $67. It has since been reduced to $50 with a coupon, but there's an upgraded version 2 with extra goodies for cheaper? I don't know. Gotta say, weird as fuck that they put the shipping label right in the box. Hate that. Sounds like a great way to decrease the resale value and damage the product. It was raining the day that I got it too, so that was not fun. According to a Twitter mood of mine who received this tablet more recently, this is still being done. Other than that issue though, it's pretty alright I guess. Nice, slick, minimal, clean presentation. But who cares about that? Let's get to the juicy meat under that cardboard. Under the cardboard skinny? What? What did I write? Skinny. Oh, skin. Why does it say skinny? The fuck? Here's the tablet. Nice and large. Way bigger than my old Intuos. Pen with 2 buttons, sleeve. That's actually pretty thoughtful. USB-C connector, cable. Nice. Tons of spare nibs. Nib remover. Focusing back on the tablet. Damn, this thing's big. Active area is a glorious 10 by 6 inches. You see, if you never used this kind of tablet before, what you see isn't what you get, necessarily. There's a certain range within this larger quote-unquote screen area that's actually used. However, I'm not a fan of how they define the corners. It's just little corners slightly colored differently. I much prefer the dotted look since it's more useful to figure out where you are. But then again, you're mainly looking up in the monitor to draw most of the time, so it's not a big deal. On the side is a glossy panel with 4 touch buttons and the gesture pad. By the way, you can change which side the panel's on in the settings for the left-handers out there, so that's fun. I'm personally not super huge on these buttons. It's not that they're bad, they work fine. It's just that for this kind of tablet, I don't want to be looking down so much. Without any tactile indication of where the buttons are, no texture, no ridge, no nothing. You most likely have to look down to find the button. It does glow each time you hit it, but that's under your finger for one, and I still had to take my eyes off the art in order to get to that point. If you end up drawing a lot at night like I do, it's bound to cause some annoyance because looking for the buttons becomes that much more of an issue. As for the gesture pad, I'm not personally a fan of this thing either. I was like, oh cool, so you can do like the smart gestures like pinching to zoom or 2-finger swipe to pan and such on the side, that's neat. But I guess it didn't register in my mind. That probably meant no gestures on the main area, which is such a huge bummer. Even when I didn't use my Intuos for art, I'd still use it as a trackpad at times. I used to use this Corsair mouse that didn't fit my hand so well. It's uncomfortable to use over long sessions. Switching to the trackpad was pretty nice. To put it simply, they're glorified buttons. You swipe either up, down, left, or right to activate a command once. You need to spam in order to repeat the action, and you can't even hold it down, which begs the question, why not just make them regular buttons? At least with the pad, you can swipe virtually anywhere, so you have to worry less about missing the input, but I'd still rather have just 8 solid tactile buttons. Oh, speaking of buttons, the pen's pretty nice. Good size, feels nice in the hand, good texture, nice clicky buttons. They're a bit loose for my liking, but it's not a big deal. That's enough about the hardware for now. Let's do some art. This is an art tablet review after all. Quick session of Google Quick Draw just to refresh myself on how to use this kind of tablet. I booted up Clip Studio Paint, my drawing program of choice, highly recommended, and set up my keybinds. They were different for the first time I was reviewing this, but I eventually settled on E for eraser and P for pen for the buttons on the pen, space for pan, shift space for rotate, control T for transform, and right click for the dropper. As for the gesture pad, control plus and control minus for up and down for zooming in and out, and then undo and redo for left and right. There is a default function set up to toggle to the eraser, but it doesn't work the best in my opinion. it defaults to switching to the paintbrush tool after the eraser instead of going back to your previous tool, at least in Clip Studio Paint. So I decided just to make a separate button since I use the G Pen more often. Okay, time for the bread and butter. Actually drawing. And I'm happy to say, it feels great! Apart from the issues I have with the buttons, actually using this tablet's really nice. Also, I suck at this. Like, wow. It's been so long since I've used one of these tablets, but holy fuck. Did I forget about the learning curve? It takes a while for you to get used to using one of these, but when you do, you can make some really solid pieces. But the learning curve is too steep for me right now, so I'm kinda just giving up on the line art for the new piece. I was way better back when I first sought out to make this video, so it's more representative of the drawing experience after giving this tablet a fair chance. Seriously, this goes for any type of screenless tablet. Looking up and drawing is hard, to be honest. But seriously, keep at it. You will get back to full proficiency sooner than you think. But I have a proper screen, so F that. I already put in the work for this review. Here's a mix of the old and new drawing footage. Also, the art isn't super representative of my current style. For that, check out my Twitter and DeviantArt. Plug. Oh, and if you're wondering why I included Wacom in the artwork, it's because the initial drafts of the script focused way more heavily on the comparison between the two, which looking back, it feels a bit more unfair to Veikk. I should judge it on its own merits to an extent. I'll get there. Point being, I was hoping for the issue to get sorted out in the time it took me to make the video, but it never did, so I'm putting it here, so hopefully they can address it. When you take away the nib from the screen, the cursor bugs out and gets locked in place until you bring the pen back towards the surface, and you have to get really close to fix it. Like, you can hover a good inch or so above the screen normally, but if you want to fix the cursor, you got to get real close. Not being able to use your mouse while you're drawing is a killer inconvenience. If I want to grab my references, I want to use my mouse because that's the easiest experience. If I want to switch to Discord, I'm gonna use my mouse. This wasn't just a me problem. I uninstalled and reinstalled the drivers like they said, nothing. I lent the tablet to a friend to try it briefly on their Mac. They had the same issue. If the buttons were the only issue, I could honestly still give this tablet an honest suggestion, but this critical bug that still hasn't been fixed is a bit much for me to... Yo, post-pixel here. I was talking with a different mutual about the review. So apparently they didn't have the cursor issue, which shows that this tablet can work. However, I still can't recommend it wholeheartedly, considering the fact it doesn't work for everyone. Okay. Back to the video. Not to mention, this thing doesn't exist in the vacuum. As I said, I initially compared this to my old Wacom Intuos comic, the kind that they don't even make anymore. Way back when I bought it, it cost $9.99. It came with a full license for an animation software that I don't use and I probably should use. More importantly, 2 whole years of Clip Studio Paint Pro. Frankly, it'd be fine off using Krita or GIMP or any other free program. I've heard great things about Krita from friends, and apparently you can animate in that, even though it's free, so that's pretty cool. But the bundle made me love Clip Studio Paint so much, I'd end up eventually upgrading to a full EX license once the trial was coming to the end. On sale, of course. It goes on sale a lot. And since then, the deal has honestly only gotten better. You can get their most basic updated Intuos model for $7.99, or $6.99.98 with a coupon. It still has that sweet CSP Pro license and some other stuff I don't care about. And they made the buttons into a little tray. That's nice, if a bit annoying to put the buttons at the top. I wasn't a huge fan of that. And they kind of make the buttons more convenient now, but whatever. It's a smaller tablet, but the quality is still there, and I never had any sorts of these kind of issues. In fact, let's look at Veik's other offerings. This A15 model looks pretty good. More buttons, tactile even, $10 cheaper than A30 V2 with a coupon. Hell, if you have the money, you could spring for the Pro model of A15 for the same price and get a dial too. This looks quality. Now, disclaimer, these aren't recommendations necessarily on what you should buy. I haven't tested these products, like any of these products, in fact, just the A30 and my old Intuos. And I don't know if the cursor issue will persist with the Veikk models. My point in bringing them up, though, is that this tablet feels like it's in a really weird position in the market, even among Veikk's own lineup. You want to ball out to start? Go with Wacom or Huion. I've heard good things about them, even. You just want to play Osu? Get one of the tiny, minuscule tablets. It's less distance you have to travel, too. You want to land somewhere in the middle? Again, Huion, they tend to be cheaper than Wacom. Or any of the other reputable brands, or even any of Veik's other offerings. To suggest buying this oddity is disingenuous. If they rescale all their tablet prices, which, again, are all sorts of whack, and fix this issue, I'd love to say beginners should give this a shot, but as it stands, I unfortunately say I cannot. But enough about them. Woo! Finally, weight off my shoulders. Jeez, okay, what's next? Ah, yes, my... Okay, hold on, be right back. Howdy GD gamers, I hope you enjoyed the review. Sorry I haven't been super active over here, I've mainly been focusing on art. I've been doing the occasional stream, but that's been slowing down as I prepare to do other stuff and focus on some art comms. Actually, I have a few speed paints I probably could post. I have time lapses available, thanks CSP. I've just been forgetting to edit those too, even though it's like maybe like 30 minutes at most and making a thumbnail. I'm mainly active over on my Twitter, go follow me over there at TakuPixel. I'm finally getting out of my rut, and I'd love to hit 500 followers before my 3rd year anniversary, sometime in October or November. I'm also always on Discord, currently been focusing my time on the D-Cell Discord for the game Unbeatable. I've shown off that game a few times on my channel, and I posted new art of that game too. I am planning some big things for the YouTube though, and with the editor helping me out, say hi again, plug stuff, I'm more excited than ever to get back into making video content. So please stick around, I'll make it worth your time. Alright, again, thanks for watching, bye bye.